the Willie Mo Jr. Show, 4 hours of pure inspiration. Of course, many of you all know across the country, I was adopted when I was 3 months old. My daddy is 89 years old. Yep. And my mama been 35 the last 35 years. Black don't crack. Beige don't age. She is 80 years old and she's proud of it. Family, the young lady who's hanging out with me today, I call her my sister because we share similar stories. The one and only Taylor Loury, right? Is it Loury or Loury?
Loury, yes.
Loury, got it. Taylor Loury is here hanging out with us. Taylor, I just want to chat with you a little bit. For those people who don't know you, give me a brief introduction and information that you feel safe to share about you and your story.
Well, I am 21 from Savannah, Georgia. I am currently in Cedartown, Georgia, due to placements. I am adopted. I just recently got adopted on the 17th of August as an adult, which was something that was really cool. I'm in college, pretty much life is kind of basic. I just work.
That's good. So what college are you going to?
I am online right now. I did attend Jacksonville State University before COVID happened, but because of health stuff, I just decided to come home. So I'm now at Georgia Northwestern Technical College up in Rome, Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, and studying psychology and early child care.
Really? So I studied psychology. I did psychology with a minor in political science. I wanted to be this big time lawyer so my mama could say, oh, my baby a lawyer. Like that's all I wanted her to do. And then I realized I really had a really better shot at being entertaining and music and journalism. Right. So I ended up doing this. But I do want to ask you this. So I was adopted when I was 3 months old. You've been adopted as an adult. How does it feel to be adopted as an adult versus a child? Like, how does that feel for you?
I don't know what it's like being a child, but because I was adopted as an adult, just it was kind of in a way like a sigh of relief, because like it was just like it happened before while I was in foster care and it didn't work, but it seems more complicated. Probably not, but to me it seemed more complicated as an adult exiting foster care to get adopted versus being out of foster care and getting adopted. But it was really all around an amazing experience. Just having someone that wants you still and wants them to be yours legally at that age is kind of cool.
Yeah. Gives you that sense of belonging. That's so beautiful. Right, I really do love that. Like, oh yeah, I want it too. I'm the prize. I'm the catch, right? I do want to ask you this. You spent a lot of years in foster care. You just mentioned that one of the opportunities that you had to be adopted did not work out. Like, what are some of the things that the audience that's listening right now needs to know about foster care and how they can support and what needs to be fixed? Because you've been from the inside out, as many of us look from the outside in.
One thing that I see in foster care that I did, and I still see, because I'm still around a lot of foster care youth and a lot of foster care staffing, just seeing how, just wanting them to individualize the children more, pay attention to them in their unique ways instead of grouping them all in a bunch or saying, oh, because they all have similar things going on that they are going to react the same and their treatment needs to be the same. And, I just think, and also just if you're wanting to foster, having patience with children, because those children, they do have a lot of patience, just got to find the right person to trust and open up to and connect with and relate to. And that's a really big thing now in foster care. Children feeling like they're not related to, or they're not fitting in the environment, just because they are not fully individually evaluated sometimes, or that they're not talked to enough. They feel like even though they go to the therapist or this and the third, they just feel like they're not looked at more. Right. So just making sure if you're trying to step into that, fostering a child or mentoring a child, just have a lot of patience and knowing that what you put yourself in is not easy. It's not going to be easy road. It's not going to be just in cream, because you could end up like that child could end up like me, meeting you and falling in love with you and building and having another family that they can call their own, especially if they don't have one. I'm an orphan. So, but I do have my biological family in my life, which is a blessing to me still. But a lot of people are not blessed with that. They're not blessed with those, having multiple families, just to be patient. That's all.
No,
Have
that's
patience.
good. Yeah, patience is so key, especially when dealing with whether it's foster children or even your own children. I got 4 of my own, and I have to be patient with them
Right.
babies, right? I have to learn strategy, and I think it's something valuable that you said, because the one thing that I've been doing, of course, I don't know your metaphysical orientation, but when it comes to my children, I'm always asking God, right? To my listener right now, I'm always asking God, like, what did you create this child to be? And I think that's a really great question for foster parents and people who get involved with fostering. Like, if your metaphysical orientation is Christian, like, I want you to start asking God, like, what gift did you put on the inside of this child? And can you lead me to cultivate and curate a parenting style that helps this child fulfill their purpose? Because a lot of times we're just parenting from a book, or parenting from a evaluation, or parenting from what we believe that this child has been lumped in this group of children. But I think sometimes we omit the opportunity to say, all right, God, here's this beautiful child. Like, what can I do to make sure that I do Taylor the right way, the way you want to do Taylor? Because Taylor, patience may look different with Taylor. And then it may be another person who needs some tough love, because they don't really take the whole I love you and all that. They like, man, you need to do this. Like, you need to know what that is. I do want to ask you this, though, because it kind of stuck out to me when you talked about it. Like, what would patience look like for Taylor? So if
Perceiving
yeah,
it from an adult, I feel like patience is, it's not being perfect. It's not being, overly protective. It's being able to connect. I guess my patience, I base it off of connection, because you could have a dog, for example. You might not have as much patience as you can with a baby, even though they both require the same amount of work, kind of, looking, making sure they're doing what they need to do. But to me, patience is just being there and being steady and being assertive and being, what would I say, like being able to just to connect. Like, that's one word I can really
a
say.
connection.
Having a connection with, being able to calm down. You have a lot of patience for that. You can't if you don't have a connection with that person, you're not gonna most likely calm down. They're not gonna listen to you. Not gonna understand what you're saying. They're gonna be all mad. But if you know that person and that's how they are, especially if you have a child and you have the patience to maintain, you might just give them a second. Might have to back off. That's still patient. That's not giving up. That's not backing off of them and making them just do what they want. Sometimes you just got to give people some space. Even adults need space. Even older people, older than us, need space. So I just feel like patience is just having the connection to know when to kind of slack off and when to push hard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that's real. Great job, Taylor. Like, you communicating so well. I mean, your reality and my reality is not everybody's reality on the outside.
Right.
And so for you, it's like second nature. Like, when I think about my parents who adopted me, like, it was almost like they had the manual. They didn't have a whole lot of education. Like, I grew up in the hood where the median income was $17,000. My mother and my mama, my mother and my father, they worked as custodians and housekeepers. So we weren't like rich. We was in the hood. Right. But when you came inside that house, it was like they knew what type of temperament that I needed. It was almost as if they consulted with God, like, what is this young boy gonna need? And they allowed me, they just kept playing to my gift. Like, okay, he liked music. Okay, yeah, he's like create. And so, to this day, like, I got my mom on my neck. Like, I love her to life because she took the time to be patient with me. So to my foster parents or people who are thinking about adopting, like, put patience in your back pocket, right? Like, I want you to say, okay, cool. When I get into this situation, my pace has to change. This is a child who's been through a whole lot. And so if you sign up, it's not to scare you, but it's to say, you know what? I'm not going to outrun the pace of God's grace in this moment, because I could miss the opportunity to pour into a child. And I want to tell you this, Taylor, before I ask the next question. What I see in you, like, there's something special that's going to happen with you when you begin to journal and write. I don't know if you do that, if you like to write or what have you, or take notes or what have you, but you're extremely creative and you visualize in pictures. And the one and only Einstein said is that our imagination is the preview to life's coming attractions. So I want you to be able to say, I got this really dope imagination. What I feel in my spirit is that a lot of people attempted to take your creativity out by talking about how much you imagine. Girl, get out the clouds and just think this way. But what I'm challenging you to do, by the Spirit of the Lord, as I speak to your heart, I want you to start going back into your imagination. For in that place, you will be able to create something that will create not only generational wealth, but it will make generational impact. And people will laugh at people who are creative because they just haven't seen it, because the creator hasn't given it to them. But because he's giving it to you, like literally he'll challenge you to be bold about your convictions when you have the opportunity to imagine what that business looks like, what that book looks like, what that new invention looks like. Like you are made to create. So live in your imagination, because listen, I'm so thankful that I get the opportunity to speak with a young mogul so early, because your imagination is super dope. Okay. For real. Taylor, I gotta ask you this. We got this mentorship program. We believe that it's two ways to learn information: mentors or mistakes. If there was an opportunity to connect with a good mentor, or if you've ever connected with somebody who was a really good mentor who made impact in your life, who is that person, or what type of person would that be?
Well, my support system is really great. Like I thank God, honestly, I'm really blessed to have a support team like mine. Let me see who I'm gonna pick. I would pick my mom, the person who adopted me. She shows, it's like she shows me that you can be human. Like, I always say, like, this song gonna sound weird, but I swear I've my first time being around any other people besides my family was when I was 15 in foster care. Seeing different people's personalities besides my family was kind of like, oh, everybody act like this. So it's not, they're not weird. But
Right.
she also shows me, like, it's okay to be weird. It's okay to be outgoing. It's okay to be the different person, and it's okay to make mistakes, but she will always tell you when you're wrong. She will always tell you, and it's not no beat down type of, oh, you is this, you're bad, And once she realizes that you understand what you did wrong, she's not gonna talk about it no more. She's gonna see it as progress. She's gonna see it as you moving forward. She's gonna see it as you understand. Even if I make that same mistake again, all she gotta do is give me that look, and I know, hey, let me think about what I said I was gonna do last time. It's like when I look at her, like if I do something, her impact is so amazing on my life. Like if I'm doing something I know I'm not supposed to do and I'm not even around her, I change it. It was for an example, I had on an outfit one day and I was going out of town, and it was shorts. It was like a bodysuit, but it was very huggish, and being a female, she don't really like that. But she mentioned, like, because I got a nice physique or whatever, but she told me that she wanted me to put on pants. And I was like, no, I'm not trying to put on pants. I feel like I'm grown. I can wear what I want. But I bet you I stopped before I got to where I was going. It was like maybe a 4-hour drive, and I got halfway there and I stopped and I got me some pants, and I called them. I said, guess what I did? I got some pants because just seeing her impact. She's been in my life for almost 4 years, and her impact has not changed. Her love hasn't changed, and that teaches me that if you are genuine with someone and you show them genuine love, someone, their life, you can impact their life. Because her love, honestly, it wasn't the way she treated me. It wasn't the way she disciplined me. It wasn't the way how she wanted me to act. It was the love that she showed me that allowed me to, I guess, change my mindset and see that, hey, there's somebody out there rooting for me. There's somebody out there in my corner, regardless if I'm not even knowing the potential in myself. She knows it, and that was good enough for me. So that's who I would say is probably the biggest mentor right now in my life, and still is, and has been since she said she was gonna be in my life forever. So
wow. And what's her name?
Karen Gibson.
Karen Gibson. Karen Gibson, you are a hero to me. Karen Gibson, you almost made me cry, and I'm a whole thug.
She
um, yeah. Is she here? Is she there anywhere or
yeah,
no?
she's in the room.
Oh, okay. Well, listen. You know, Karen Gibson reminds me a lot of my mother, who's 80 years old now. And she would always just want the best for me. And I always tell parents, like, I know you want to discipline and you want to go hard, but if you can just learn how to love so much that your child don't want to disappoint you, like you in a good spot.
Ooh, ooh,
Like I literally just never
yes.
wanted to disappoint. I never wanted to see her face disappointed. I never wanted to see my dad disappointed because I just knew how like they just would not change love.
Right.
Like no matter how much I acted out, no, like I tried to push them away, like, but they
Makes you
were
feel like
like,
you deserve it. It's like, why
yeah,
do
I'm
you
like,
keep doing this? Why? It's like, ah, why did you mess
yeah.
up?
Yeah, like I'm just so proud of you, and I'm proud of Miss Gibson and the Gibson family. You know, Taylor, you're gonna do a lot of great things. And you know, my advice to you is just to know that your imagination is your jewel, your creativity is your jewel. Whenever you get into a really tough spot, remember that you're creative because of the creator, and he's done something very special and unique. And I just think that you're gonna be able to help so many children across the country who've been through similar situations because you're going to have a beautiful, victorious story on the back end of this. And I just thank you for taking the time to hang out with me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
It's truly my pleasure. Just in closing, what would you say to a young lady who had to endure some of the things that you had to endure to encourage another foster child?
Whew, let me not get emotional. I love speaking to my women.
Yeah.
Don't give up on yourself just because you're different than the next. Don't give up on yourself or anything that you want to do, even if it's involving a child, even if you have a child at a young age. Don't give up on that child, even if they're not in foster care, even if you have family members that's in foster care, you know, you feel like, oh, because you can't help them and stuff like that. Don't discourage yourself so much to where you can't put in to other people, because life is not just about you. I know we might think, oh, we're born, we're gonna die alone. We here by ourselves. We're here to make money or build whatever kind of career we want. But if you leave this earth and you don't impact one soul, your life ain't worth nothing. I want to tell you that. Simple as that. Especially us women. I'm not down to y'all men, but us women, we gotta step up and we gotta get out there. We gotta motivate each other. We gotta motivate these young girls out here, these young children, because they looking at us. They looking at us women. And these boys are looking at these men, and sometimes the men looking at us women too, and seeing what we're doing. And if we can literally be positive and uplifting to others and just keep the faith of God in every tongue, every word you speak to somebody else, then you're doing an excellent job. Don't give up on yourself. Don't stop. Don't stop the grind. Even if people are laughing at you, even if you're the only one in the freaking church jumping and praising God, do that on the outside of church too. Even if you're in a crowd, stand out. It doesn't matter, because a child might be looking at you like, I want to be her. I can't believe she did that. I'm just so, I can do it too. I'm not the only one that's feeling like this. So you never know. You never know. And that child, you might not even know you impacted somebody because they're so far away. You might not even know. But just if you continue doing what you're doing and continue to be humble and just very prestige with your personality and very confident in yourself, then you're good. That's all I gotta say.
Indeed. I'm so proud of you, Taylor. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Family, of course, you know, November is my month where I really represent adoption and foster care. So thank you for tuning in to the Willie Mo Jr. Show. And next week, I got more people who just like me. I'm bringing in what I call my young guns, okay? And they shoot nothing but these powerful, positive bullets at everybody who's listening. I appreciate you, Taylor. Have an amazing day.
Thank you so much.
Indeed, my pleasure. Flat out.